78% of professional athletes will go broke after 3 years of retirement. But why? Mainly because they have short earnings window and they overspend while they're in the league. Now get this, more and more athletes are doing something to change that statistic, and they're turning to startup investing to do it. Hey there, my name is Chris Graby and I'm a startup investor, and I teach everyday investors how they can become a startup investor for just a few $100s. Right now we're diving into some of the biggest athletes on the planet and how they became startup investors. Did you know that the average career for a professional athlete is not that long? For the NFL, it's 3.3 years. For the NBA, it's a little longer. And for Major League Baseball, it's in that 3 to 5 year range. Long story short, it is rare for a professional athlete to get past 5 years, which means they have a window where they have these big paydays before their bodies break down and before the team cuts them and before the window closes on their professional career forever. And that is why you and I are seeing a lot of athletes looking beyond the game, looking down the road into the future, and they are investing in startups. Some of the biggest athletes on the planet have invested in some of the biggest startups on the planet. Steph Curry invested in Pinterest. Venus Williams invested in the UFC. Shaq invested in Google, Muscle Milk, and Big Chicken, his restaurant, and so many more. Kevin Durant, Postmates, and Acorn. LeBron James, he invested in Beats by Dre and Blaze Pizza. Carmelo Anthony, he invested in DraftKings and Lyft and Casper mattresses. The smartest athletes understand that they have to leverage their time while they're in the spotlight. They have followers on social. They're in arenas every single night. They're almost like walking billboards, and they have eyeballs on them, and they have a massive audience, even if they're sitting on the bench. And sometimes they get the opportunity to invest in these startups. But the coolest part for them is they can also get paid sponsorships to turn around and talk about the very startup that they just invested in. And the other thing is this, when you're on a team, I don't care where you are in the team. If you've made an NFL roster, an MLB roster, or even an NBA roster, you are connected and the opportunities abound. I remember years ago, Gary Vee was talking about how he was having lunch with one of the players on the New York Knicks. And he told him, look, while you're still on the team, it doesn't matter if you play or not. People will want to meet you. They will want to give you access to opportunities and different things that you will not have when you're no longer playing. One of the smartest and original athletes who understood the power of a personal brand and being in the spotlight was none other than Michael Jordan. Now, if you followed Jordan at all in his career, you know that he made an iconic move when he partnered with a very small, at the time, shoe company, Nike. So instead of taking some decent sized check, he bet on himself, his brand, and how much he could actually make on what he thought was going to happen in his professional career. Well, the reports are out there, they're all over the place, but he has seen around $1.5 billion from just that one decision. Jordan set a precedent, and it's amazing what he's been able to do. And what's been cool was to see all of the athletes that follow alongside him. But the craziest part is, it's not just the players getting into the action. The professional teams and the clubs are actually becoming startup investors as well. The Atlanta Hawks, they have their own venture capital firm called Hawk Ventures. The Minnesota Vikings and Los Angeles Dodgers, they also have a venture capital firm. But the question is, why? These teams spend millions of dollars on all sorts of things, like we don't even realize, like cups and cleaning supplies and technology to run the scoreboard and the ticket counting. There's all kinds of things. So if there is a startup that they could partner with that can maybe lower their costs or improve their fans' experience, well, they've got the capital and they're going to invest. Also, in the world of athletics, it's all about having the competitive advantage. If there's a sports technology company out there or startup, why not give their athletes an advantage? All these sports teams have infinite amounts of cash, so why not start a hedge fund or a venture firm and park that money somewhere where you could see a return? We are witnessing a revolution of athletes becoming some of the wealthiest people on the planet. They are taking those big dollars they're making on those contracts and they're investing them in startups, which is helping them generate massive generational wealth. All right, I want to hear from you. What's your take on what these professional athletes are doing when it comes to the world of startup investing? And hey, look, if you want to become a startup investor, I just put together a brand new masterclass where I break down everything you need to know to step into the world of startup investing. I talk about the laws that recently changed that made it possible for anyone to invest, sometimes for as little as $100. And I share some of the things I look for before I invest in startups. The masterclass is completely and totally free. Just click the link in the description, come check out the class, and we cannot wait to see you there. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I know you're gonna like this one right here, and you're definitely gonna like this one right here.